Still debating between Martial and Warrior Pikemans, one give you fewer losses and stronger future. This is the smartest choice early on and how it set you for the season 4 and beyond. Hey guys, Bruce here. Today I'm going to talk about Martial's Pikemans against Warrior Pikemans. Now, Pikemans is a topic that a lot of people are excited just because of Lubu. We all know that Lubu, now a lot of people was waiting Lubu to get nerfed, and honestly I always was thinking at one point this thing can actually happen, and at one point the game is going to nerf Lubu, but till this day this bad boy is still here and is still thriving, which make me happy because I actually invest in Wubu. Back in the days I was not so sure. I was having some different path in my build, so I decided to not actually go for Wubu, but at the end of the day, yeah, I make him 3-star. I was looking to make him 5-star for sure. If you can make him 5-star, this bad boy is going to thrive in the season 2, season 3, and even in the season 4, even though that we have Cyrus, just things are way more different. So let's take a look over first over the Martials and Pikemans, Martial Pikemans, and of course the Warrior Pikemans. So I'm going to start with Martial Pikemans. At one point Martial Pikemans was something like how to say it, like a meta. People was thinking they're going to be meta, just because when there's a new heroes presented, to actually build the synergy, explore all the spells, all the extra spells the hero can actually have, the star rating, you cannot exactly tell is this heroes is going to be meta or not. You can make some prediction, and especially if you have enough knowledge over the game, you can make pretty decent prediction for specific heroes. But back in the days, for the Martials, people was something like, oh my god, they're going to be the next big thing, especially with Octavian, Caesar. Now Ramkamhagen is a hero that I still don't have. It was little hard because he is from the mightiest governor, but from what I see on the battlefield, speaking with a lot of other players, also in my comments under my videos, Ram ended up to be extremely good hero. Also, let me know in the comments what you think about the Ram, just to build also the full picture, because there is just not enough information. But I cannot also test him now. I test him in the Pioneer server. Maybe I should start making videos when I enter in the Pioneer server, because you have access to all the heroes there, and I was surprised that he's a good one. So what is the specific between the Martials and the Warrior Pikemans? Now the Martials, as you can see, the things are turn-based. You're going to see also Caesar is turn-based, Octavian is turn-based. Now so far we also have Tamiris, by the way, that I still didn't actually test her that much, but at the end of the day you have 3 heroes that was actually the Legion that people was expecting to be the meta. So what actually the Martial Pikemans can actually give you? And the Martial Pikemans leads to fewer troop losses in the early fights. If we check a couple of the spells, for example for Ram Kamheng, you're going to see this spell, for example, everything is turn-based. Okay, not everything, but the majority of the spells here are turn-based. This is something that you have to keep in mind. And turn-based mechanic, sorry, I was looking for the words in my head. Yeah, drop a like if you sometimes some word on English go out of your head. But yeah, the turn-based mechanics, I think, is going to be extremely valuable when you have extremely strong team, because if you vanish for like 6 seconds, well, we're not even going to be able to make this turn-based thing. So yeah, every 6 seconds reduce your troops damage taken by some percentage for 3 seconds and increase the highest attributes of all allied players, commanders within the area by 1.5k for 4 seconds. Up to 6 stacks for 3 minutes. This effect only works in PvP battles when deployed units exceed 80% of the maximum deployed units. That's crazy. Now that is one of the things that is greatly support the survivability of the Pikemans. Now I'm going to maybe, since a lot of people was looking for Caesar as a commander, I'm going to check out his main spell. Obviously, something that I noticed with the Pikemans is they're hitting multiple targets. This is something very nice. Deals might damage to up to 3 enemies, blah blah blah. Or increase all your heroes' damage by some percentage, grants some rage when he enters in the battle. Obviously, this is going to be a damage dealing spell, nothing related to the fewer losses. And by fewer losses, that means your legion is having very good stamina. Your legion have very nice survivability. Deals might damage to the enemy troop every 9 seconds, blah blah blah. And from here, you can actually make some changes with the Caesar, but obviously Caesar is going to be the guy who is going to do the damage. And Octavian, obviously, now a lot of people have a question about this bad boy, and he's not that hard to be get to start with. Every hero that is presented, maybe Caesar is even one idea more easy to be get back in the days, just because he was presented in a lot of chests. But yeah, Octavian deals might damage to the enemy troops once at 1 stack of Supreme Mark every time your troop activates signature turned basic skill or signature secondary skill strike. When there are 8 stacks, the stacks will be consumed to increase your troop damage by some percentage. So you see a lot of damage and some defense. Obviously, the things can get changed from the extra skills that the specific hero is having. I didn't actually invest in the martial Pikemans back in the days just because I'm strong supporter of theory that better make one legion like 5-star, meta legions 5-star, and don't split your universal medals around other heroes. That's why I actually focus over Miaymoto and Mulan, but at one point I decide, since Mulan, you can use universal medals at her, but she is not presented in the legendary event. Miaymoto, also you can use universal medals, but he's not present in the legendary event. Why is so important the hero to be presented in the legendary event? And the simple answer is you're going to get way more marks from this hero if it's present in the legendary event. Now obviously when I level up my VIP, right now I don't know what kind of level VIP I am. I'm VIP 9. I think I didn't actually buy Miaymoto, but I buy the previous one. Which one I actually buy? Okay, till level 6 I actually buy the tokens to make this bad boy 3-star. So you know, I was investing in this direction, and I think I make a little mistake because I didn't actually know how far I'm going to go with Age of Empire Mobile, and by not knowing that, I end up spending like, let's just test the game and see if the game is good enough to actually you know, decide should I actually go with this, should I actually continue playing Age of Empire Mobile. So far the game is not that bad. This is what I can say. Obviously a lot of people are going to say, oh, here there's some things that can be changed, some improvements, but believe me, as a in every game there is a people who is asking for more, and this is absolutely normal. More medals, reducing the cost of something and stuff like this. Now about Bushra and Tomiris, now I don't have that big overview over these heroes, but once every 9 seconds reduce your troops, you're going to see that this one is a buff and this one is recovered. Now we're going to see also for for the Pikemans, that is Warrior, you're going to have their counterattack. Now the difference here, for the people who don't know, is turn-based. Now the main legion is going to be turn-based. On the other side, for the Pikemans that are warrior, is going to be counterattack. So let's check it. Let's check it out and jump over counterattack. Obviously, there is a procs. I have to mention that here you don't have that much procs. By the way, it's not something like some percentage chance, but yeah, the cooking thing is in the extra skills in the gear. There's just so many things that it have to be covered over one hero to actually get that much in deep. Currently we're looking just the difference. Now if we go over the Warrior Pikemans, okay, let me filter Pikemans and Warrior. Now one of the things that people are waiting that much, and that was this bad boy. A lot of people was waiting for Cyrus the Great, because boy oh boy, let this hero finally somehow stop Lubu, finally to counter Wubu, the hero that thrived and it was meta in the season 2, in the season 3. So what I can say about the Cyrus, obviously he's going to extend the main thing of the Warrior Pikemans, and this is the counterattack. You're going to see here we also have counterattack, we have counterattack and bonding, Joan of Arc. You know, this is the mechanic that separate martial Pikemans and Warrior Pikemans. It's very important, especially when you're deciding where you should go. Are you going to make more tanky Warrior Pikemans just because the counterattack? You know, if you're more tanky, you're going to survive more time, and you're going to make more counterattacks. But in the same time, if you kill faster, you're going to get less also casualties, just because you're killing more faster. There's just so many things in Age of Empire Mobile that we can actually talk about. So yeah, this is the bad boy that a lot of people was waiting for. This Cyrus the Great, obviously it's going to be the commander, so I'm going to, you know, make a little comparison with the Caesar. Deals might damage up to 3 enemy troops in the fan-shaped area in front. So yeah, 3 troops against 3 troops, that's no issue. And increased Cyrus the Great counterattack trigger chance of 4 customizable skill by 2.9% for 12 seconds. And get some range when enter in the battle. So right now things are looking a little similar from point of boosting, at least from my perspective. But yeah, counterattack is the main mechanic here. So everything that is boosting the counterattack is boosting the main mechanic. Even though that this is increasing for Cyrus the Great only for this hero, but still this is more like boosting the main mechanic of the Warrior Pikemans. And the second spell, signature spell, that can also be triggered when dealing damage with customizable skills. Continuous damage effect excluded, has 65% chance to deal might damage to an enemy troop. Damage rate, some damage rate, trigger once per second at most, and increase your might by some number up to 15.8 for 3 seconds. This attack has 50% chance to ignore some of enemy defense. Now signature skill of Cyrus the Great is crazy. Signature skills of this bad boy is crazy and is applying, by the way, when dealing damage with customizable skills. Yeah, this attack has 50% chance to ignore the defense of enemy defense. When receiving might damage, has some percentage chance to reduce that damage by some number. So you see crazy damage doing with the Pikemans. Even though Pikemans, for me, since you have to keep something in mind. Now the percentage is based also over the troop attack. Now if you have some percentage attack, is based on the troops. So even though Pikemans don't have that much damage, they're on the place number 3, only better from the swordsman from point of attack. Still, I think this hero is absolutely crazy. Activation chance obviously is going to be 100% since this is a passive one. Now from here, the sky is the limit. You can basically go with different spells. Now, if you want me to make a specific video about Cyrus, since maybe I'm going to go for him, maybe I'm not so sure. Let me know in the comments so I can make a video about the rings, about the gear, about the spells that is going to fit very well with Cyrus the Great in Age of Empire Mobile. Here we have, yeah, all these spells that you're seeing right now is a good one. But Cyrus is not alone. It's not alone. We also have Leonidas. I think a lot of majority of the people are familiar with Leonidas. He is from the season 1. So this bad boy here also is counting on counterattack, but also was doing pretty decent damage. Not gonna lie, pretty decent damage. I even have some investment in Leonidas because I was not quite sure should I actually go that hard with him or not. But I put some investment. Here we also have Bondika. The majority here, exception this bad boy, and this one is counterattack. But I still think Frederick Barbossa is something that is going to be a must-have, must-get hero because it's going to serve you well in many seasons. Now, right now, I think the majority of the people are thinking about Cyrus, Mansa, and maybe Barbossa. Now, the third one, I'm not like 100% sure, but everybody are looking over Cyrus and Mansa Musa. Now I have a video about Mansa Musa. I think he's a very, very nice hero. He was basically the richest person living on the planet Earth. So, I mean, from point of history. So, yeah, I think also the damage here, the survivability is pretty nice. And there is a second thing, especially for the Warrior Pikemans, that right now is separating Warrior Pikemans from the martial one. And this is eventually you're going to unlock 2 Warrior Pikemen's lineups, but not until season 4. So this is one of the things. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Even though that we have like 8 heroes, I still think maybe you can build something like a Richard and maybe get okay, let's start with the main legion. Going to be Mansa, Cyrus, Mansa, and maybe Barbossa or Bondika. Again, I have to speak. I have some players that are very good with the Pikemans. Obviously, I'm a cavalry man, so I'm not that much over this, but I think one of these heroes, and you can build Richard as a second legion with, for example, Leonidas and Bondika, or with Leonidas and Barbossa. Strongly depend which hero you're going to pick for Cyrus and Mansa. But still, I think right now is great opportunity for the Pikemans to actually have 2 legions on the battlefield. Now, having multiple legions from one point is something nice, but from other point is you're going to need more gear. You're going to need, especially for the Pikemans. Right now I'm getting some gear, you know, but to actually hit the Pikeman gear is going to, you know, the majority is on random. You know, you have screws where you can pick I want for Pikemans, but I think the gear maybe is going to be a problem for some people. Not everybody, because this is like 6 heroes that are 6 Pikemans. But yeah, it's not going to be a problem, even though if you run warriors, so far Pikemans with the martial one, you're just going to get from the martial Pikemans. If your martial are good builded, you can use Cyrus, Mansa, and maybe Barbossa, and you can get this martial legion also. I think they're going to be also very, very nice. But I still think for early martial builds, especially with the Ram Khan, I think is going to support your allies and remain valuable longer. But again, this bad boy is from the place that is that you have to compete. Okay, you have to compete here. Some people are going to get him, some not, but this is the mightiest governor. But anyway, so far this is my opinion over the Pikemans and the marshals, and I think right now the warriors are one idea better, but I think in the early game the marshals is going to bring more value for you, especially with the heroes like Ramkamhaeg. So I guess this will be for this video, guys. Don't forget to hit one like, subscribe if you're new to this channel, become a member if you want to support the channel, and see you in the next video.